Hello everyone, welcome to the new video in the series of complete guide to Roam in Android. So in our few previous videos we have completed the UI of subjects screen and subject details screen and insert a subject with in-memory list of data. So now we will integrate this subjects module, these screens with our Roam with our database using Roam. So first we will create the table for this one. So for that we will go to our data entities, and in here we will create a class subject entity, which will be a data class. Annotate it with the entity, and in here we need the values which we are defined in subject model. So here we have actually subject model. So in this we have three properties: ID, name, and credit hours. So ID, this would be nullable, and name and credit hours. And we will make this ID as a primary key. And now we go to our app database and tell the database that we have this new table. So in here we will mention this subject entity class and update the version to 2. And we also need SubjectDAO for this table. So in our DAOs package we will create a interface SubjectDAO, annotate it with DAO, and in here to insert item subject entity insert, and also we will also make the function suspend function because we are doing IO operation here. Same for the update item subject entity, and next is if we want to get all list of subjects, get all items subject entity, and here we will use query select static from students, and if we want to get the detail of a specific subject, then I create another method named as get item, and which have ID as a parameter, and return the subject entity. So the query would be select static from students, where ID is equal to ID which we have passed, and limit this record to 1 because we are only looking for one entry here, and also make this nullable. So it might be possible that we are trying to get an item which may not be exist at some point, and yeah, this is it. And now we will go to our app database, and here create an abstract function SubjectDAO. Okay, and now in our subjects module we are using in-memory data which we are retaining in our app state in this list. So we will comment this out. So in this way we will be able to see the error warning stat where these methods have been used, and we will use our Roam SubjectDAO there. So in our subjects here in the main, we have in the subjects view model, here we are calling this get instance method, get subjects method. So here I will create a private data member, SubjectDAO, ROM demo app database, and SubjectDAO. So in here we will let's wrap it in a function. Control Alt M, fetch subjects, and in this we will call the SubjectDAO.getAllItems method, and in here we are getting an error that the required list is SubjectModule list, and we are getting the subject entity list. So we need to do some mapping in here also. So for that we will create some extension functions here. So for that we will create here a file named as subject extensions, and to extend the subject entity class we will write a function subject entity to subject model. So here we will map all those values of subject entity to this subject model. As we have properties in subject entities are nullable, so we will use else operator to provide the default value if anything is null. Okay, and now in our subjects view model we will map our list to subject model. And now we are seeing another error that this get all items is a suspend function. So we can only call this from a suspend function or from any other suspend function or within our coroutine scope. So we will wrap this function in a coroutine scope and use IO dispatcher here because we are doing an IO operation on local storage. Okay, and now we will go to our add subject view model, and in here we are using these two methods and the third method here. So we will again here create a private data member SubjectDAO AppDatabase.SubjectDAO, and we will have in this method we need to fetch that subject information from the subjects table. So here we will apply a check that subject entity SubjectDAO.getItem, pass the ID in it, and if it is null then we will return from here. And here we again seeing this warning, so we need to wrap this in a coroutine scope. And also update this return statement. Okay, so we have our subject entity here. Now in this place we need the object of subject model, so we will map this to subject model. And now rest of the thing will work as expected. Now in here we have these two methods. So first as all the methods in the subject are suspend functions, so whenever we will be calling, then we will make some certain modification in that function to be able to call those methods. So view model scope dot launch dispatchers.io, and in here SubjectDAO insert item and pass the subject in it, and same goes for this method. So in here we are seeing a warning that this insert method requires the instance of subject entity, but we are passing subject model to this. So we will here again do a mapping here, subject to subject entity, and in our subject extension file we will create a extension function for this subject model to subject entity. So in here we will map these properties of subject model to subject entity. Okay, and at this point when we are setting the ID to this entity object, then we need to apply a check that if ID is not -1, then we will set the ID, and if it is -1, then we will set the null to this ID property. So this would be an indication to the ROM that this is a new entry, and the insertion will happen, and a new auto-generated ID will be assigned to this property. So coming back to our add subject view model, import this method and pass this subject entity in these methods. Okay, so yeah, now we have done the required changes for this. So let's run the app and see the behavior. So right now I am seeing this app which we have in our initial code. So initial code of this video. So let's run the app. Okay, and tap on subjects, and we haven't get anything here. Okay, so let's add a subject here. So new inter subject haven't been reflected here. If I tap on this subjects, okay, I think our methods is not calling. So in our subjects view model we have fetch subjects. Okay, I think something is wrong here. So let me diagnose the issue and I will get back to you. Okay, so back again, and I have find out the issue that why we are not able to see list in our subjects list. So this is because in our get all items which get all the list of subjects. So here we use the students table. That's why we are not getting the data. So subjects, and yeah, this is a change. So let's run the app, and we are able to see our subject in the list. And if I write any other subject, let's say computer fundamentals, and this is not reflected here, and if I close the app and open it again, then this would be reflected here. So the thing is, so our list is not refreshing whenever user land on this screen. This will only refresh when the user first time land on this. So we need to apply some logic to refresh whenever user revisit this screen. Our subjects view model, we are calling this fetch subjects whenever this instance of this class is created. So we will remove this from here. In our subject section, we will define an action named as pressing Ctrl D subjects, fetch subjects. In our subject screen here, we will call this method whenever this screen is shown to the user. View model dot on action subjects action dot fetch subjects, and in our subjects view model we need to handle this action by pressing alt enter on this on this when condition and call the fetch subjects method. So yeah, this is a change which we need to apply. So let's run and verify. Okay, so if we tab on the subjects, then we have our list here, and if I add another subject, then their subject will be reflected right after when this will be inserted. And if I update this one, let's say, okay, actually this one is also not working, so I will get back this later. Let's say if I add another subjects, credit hours 3, and this will be reflected, and this is not working, that our subject is not reflected here. So first go to this list item on click, and in here we are passing the ID, and in our add subject view model we are getting this ID and get the item accordingly. So in here let's see the name of, okay, so here need to use the subject table name here, and yeah, that's it. So let's run and verify. Subjects, tap on it, and we are able to see the selected subject. So if I update the name, let's say 1, click save, and this will be reflected. And if I tap on this one and use calculus 2 here, so press save, and that information will be reflected here. So this is it for today's video. I hope this would be a meaningful information for you. So thank you for watching. Bye.